してバンドにこだわってないんですよ。
For the last 20 years, you've been a solo act, more of a solo. You operate in a band format.
Right.
But why not have a band, the name of the band, as opposed to performing as a solo act?
Well, this, Traffic was three, four really strong individuals. It's not an easy thing to replicate. So that's why.
Talking about bumps, there should be still quite a bit of appreciation, or even renewed appreciation for the stuff you did solo back in the 70s. Is it the feeling you're getting?
Well, yeah. The state. I mean, in America, there's definitely, there's still definitely a strong following from people that were there at that point, and through to the like 80, 81 or so. And the last time, the last time we came over to Japan was last year, and then before I hadn't been here for a while before that. But
You came last year?
but it was we were here last year, but it seems that I guess you're starting the kind of classic radio format over here too, aren't you?
Not as much in the States, no.
No, I know it's not as much in the States, but Tomashi said there was a little bit of it starting to happen here.
Kind of, yeah, sort of in bits and pieces.
Right.
Fragments.
But yeah, I'm surprised. It's a nice surprise that there's still people in Japan still remember.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, maybe,
So there wasn't really any. There wasn't a lot of interest from record labels in the last few years.
Oh, I see, yeah.
With between punk and rap, it's sort of which for some reason they call music. I don't know why, but so consequently, it's sort of got a little overlooked. I think not just myself, a lot of people. Although I think maybe it might be coming back. The interest. I think there's, they kind of, pop music tends to orientate itself to the 9 to 15-year-old mentality, as a business, which I understand. It's a business, but I think there's still a lot of people that would like music, but there is no lot of labels putting it out. Although you've got Winwood coming back. There's the Doobie Brothers are back out there again. Bonnie Raitt's album, she's been around for years. So I think there's definitely an audience out there for that kind of music. It's just labels need to discover that audience and maybe aim, for that audience instead of such a teenage audience all the time.
One thing he points out, though, is that the fact that you've continued to perform your own music without pandering to popular tastes or to juvenile tastes,
Right.
as well as maybe the other people you're talking about,
Right.
is sort of a testament to the quality of what you're doing or your commitment to it.
Right. Well, it's also it would be. I don't think it would work for me to try and follow trends. I don't think it would gain me any new audiences, and I think it would probably turn off a lot of my old audience. So but maybe things cycles come around, and I have a lot of new material and a lot of new stuff, and there's I just started going after a record deal again, and there seems to be some interest in the States. Plus, I think there's some people, CBS, Sony, maybe a couple of other people coming tomorrow to the shows. So, we'll see what happens.
What sort of stuff, what are your activities are in the States? What type of places do you perform at?
They're most of the places we play are mostly clubs. Some are theaters. It depends on, different parts of the country. draw different audience. You know, I have a much bigger crowd than other parts, and sometimes the time of year makes a difference too. Yeah. You know, sometimes. Also, I tour a lot there, so it's maybe a little overexposed in a way.
Oh, I see.
But I think people are sort of used to me going, well, they know Dave will be around, you know, next year. So, but also, I toured for 7 or 8 years just acoustically, just myself and Jim Krieger.
Was it right?
Yeah, and I only had the band out for maybe the last 3 years over there, 3-4 years, and I've just gone back to doing it acoustically again over there with myself and Jim Krieger again. Who wrote
Jim
Krieger, Jim Krieger.
As opposed to Jim Kruger.
Well, Krieger. You're thinking of Robbie Krieger.
Oh yes, yeah. Okay.
From the Doors.
His real name is
Jim Krieger.
That's how you pronounce it, Krieger.
Yeah.
It's not Kruger.
No, Krieger.
Okay.
It's spelled Krieger, but
Yeah.
it's pronounced Krieger.
Oh, I see.
But he wrote "We Just Disagree,"
Yeah.
and he was with me in the. He was with me when we came to Japan when we were, like in the 70s,
Yeah,
middle
right.
70s.
Mike Finnegan.
Right, exactly. So he and I are back on the road playing again,
Just
doing
two of
it.
you?
Yeah.
Only club though. You got together this time. This is your first time playing with them, I assume.
No, they were here last year.
Oh, is it right?
I had a different guitar player
Mhm.
and keyboard player,
Mhm.
and also they were at for the drummer and the bass player have been with me for the last 4 years.
Oh, is it right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Well, I'm still busy, right? Kind of tough time in rehearsals there because they're your first timers.
No, we're just trying to get everything, since we're here and we're not with our own equipment, for the most part. We need to, that's why I needed today
Oh, I see.
to work all this out. Plus, I haven't played with the band since January, so
Was that right? No, so you left. That's not this.
So- we need to refresh ourselves.
Oh, I see. You dabbled a bit in Caribbean style music or Caribbean style influences?
A little bit,
Yeah.
yeah. Not very much,
Yeah.
just a little bit. There was some, let me think what would, maybe there was a couple of things back in the 70s, on some of the, like 70s albums that came out. There's one new song that I've got called It's Never Too Late that's somewhat that way.
Mm-hmm. I see it did, but you a reggae-ish one?
Yeah,
Yeah, just
sort of like that.
Yeah. So it
sort of he's got some.
may not be the most appropriate way of putting it, but after you left Traffic and you did the first solo record,
Right,
Alone Together,
right.
he referred to the music seemed to take on sort of a swampy type of sound, like a southern, almost an American southern type of sound. Although it may not be
But what, we mean on Alone Together?
sort of Alone Together now, yeah. I don't know if
Probably, because I had mostly all the, like Jim, Leon Russell and Jim Gordon and Bonnie Bramlett and people like that singing on there.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really think of it that way, but I don't know. It's I really wasn't thinking of it that way myself.
Why did you choose those people then?
Well, they were all the session people in L.A. at the
Oh,
time.
right.
Yeah,
That's the only reason why?
yeah.
Why LA then?
Because that's where I moved to after.
Why would you move to LA then? What brought you there?
Because I just wanted to go. There was really there was really nothing to. There was after Traffic, there really wasn't anything to put together in England. I mean, I tried a couple of things with, I did some stuff with Hendrix and did a few things with Derek before Derek and the Dominoes started. I was going to be with that, but that didn't work out. And plus, America is where rock and roll started, so
Yeah.
I figure I'll go where
Yeah.
the roots are.
No, so such Jimi Hendrix there. You're on the Electric Ladyland jacket, he says. It's like a photo of you.
Yeah.
Was that when you were...
Yeah, plus we did all along the Watchtower, and I sang on Crosstown Traffic. I was going to join Noel Redding was going to leave at that point, and I was going to join on bass.
Was it right?
But It didn't work out. I think the management kind of put a stop to it. So,
I thought that you would, I guess, kind of add an extra name onto the billboard.
well, no.
Is it the thing you're getting?
Well, yeah. The state. I mean, you know, in America, there's definitely, you know, there's still definitely a strong following from people that were there at that point. You know, and through to the like 80, 81 or so. And the last three, four really strong individuals. It's not an easy thing to replicate. So that's why.
Talking about bumps, there seems to be still quite a bit of appreciation, or even renewed appreciation for the stuff you did solo back in the 70s. For the last 20 years, you've been a solo act, more of a solo, you operate in a band format.
Right.
But why not have a band, the name of the band, as opposed to performing as a solo act?
Well, there's, traffic was the time. Let's see, the last time we came over to Japan was last year, and then before I hadn't been here for a while before that. But
You came last year?
but it was we were here last year. But it seems that I guess you're starting the kind of classic radio format over here too, aren't you?
Not as much in the States, no.
No, I know it's not as much in the States, but Tamachi said there was a little bit of it starting to happen here.
Kind of, yeah, sort of in bits and pieces.
Right.
Fragments.
But yeah, I'm surprised. It's a nice surprise. There's still people in Japan still remember.
Yeah. Well, maybe.
So there's